touchdown.
The route, and Randy Moss, without even really being able to run, as he shoots the moon to the
pass, pumps to the left, 8 seconds left. He gets away from the pressure, fires to the end zone. It's caught! It's Greg Lewis! Oh my heavens! Greg Lewis's first catch has given the Minnesota.
Four, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What is up, everybody? Skol, week 1, 1-0. You're here with the Skol Doc. This is House Calls with Skol Doc, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. As always, joined by Dave. Dave, how you feeling, my dude?
Dude, it's just what I wanted. It's absolutely the way I wanted us to win, and it was perfect.
I was joking on Twitter that it only took one game without the previous quarterback to win by 17 plus. How serendipitous is that? And of course, that has nothing to do with our old boy Kirko change. He's gonna do his thing down in Atlanta. We're moving on. We're playing with Sam Darnold. It was just nice to see a domination effort today by the Minnesota Vikings in a game where they came in as only 1.5 point favorites because nobody quite knew what to expect from Sam Darnold. But I got to say, I loved what I saw. And, man, Kevin O'Connell, that guy can coach. We got a good one.
Yeah, we had a very good game plan. There was a lot of comments during the game about how when they had their big guy out of the lineup that they ran the ball. Like they had a plan to run when he was out. And then it worked. It worked great. And shout out to Aaron Jones. It's been a while since we had a guy that could be so shifty to where he had nothing to make something out of nothing and always falling forward. This is something we've been missing.
He just looks different.
I love Dalvin Cook, but he's a one cut and go guy. Aaron Jones creates, and he showed it today, and he was a big reason why we're winning.
Aaron Jones has the ability to read defenders incredibly quick and put his foot in the ground and make cuts without thinking about it. The way that he bounced that touchdown outside, he made that read instantaneously. And it was a joy to watch. And not only that, but he caught a couple passes. His hands are fantastic. If he can stay healthy this year, he's an absolute game changer for this Vikings offense. And of course, the defense under Brian Flores, they balled out, man. Ivan Pace was giving them some bulletin board material the other day, talking about how they were going to just dominate the Giants. He wasn't lying. The Vikings beat that ass.
A few shout outs here. We longtime listeners, Skol Mafia in the house, Dave Thibodeau, Skol Mafia again, obviously, and then Mary Fisk, Chicken Soup for the Soul, back again. Nice to have you on our show, Mary. Great team win, very impressive. Love the defense and that Flores had planned. Darnold stayed such a good game. Very happy tonight. I know you're, gave a little crack to Kirk, but it was nice for me. It was nice to see a defense finally just shut a team down and keep it the whole game. There was we were pretty lucky for the fact that 2 of our touchdowns came on drives that were extended by one. I thought was an incorrect pass interference call. Yeah, they were both going for the ball. And then,
no, I'm going to disagree with you. Defender's back was to the ball. Jordan Addison did a great job jumping up, playing the ball. Defender never saw the ball. I agree with that flag.
Okay. And then face mask penalty, which obviously was a face mask penalty, but it had nothing to do with the play, right? So we got pretty lucky getting those plays, getting 2 touchdowns on extended drives that might not have been there. And let's say if the guy turned and went for the ball and didn't get a PI call, but there was, we still win that game because our defense played so good.
Absolutely.
We can't do that against the next teams, right? We got through this game doing that, getting 95 yards of extra yards on penalties. We got to clean up our side of the ball. And we can't just rely on our our offense getting extended drives. That's the way I looked at that.
No, but to play devil's advocate to that point that you made, I was happy as hell by what I saw out of the offense, and I'll tell you why. It was pretty clear early on. So first of all, they put up 14 quick points in this game. Outside of the early fumble by Captain CJ Ham, he knows better than that. He'll fix it. It sucks because everybody is thinking, oh, here we go again, same as last year. Here comes the turnovers. Defense does their thing, holds the Giants to a field goal. That's fantastic. The Vikings then go out there, score 14 quick points. From there on, the offense was kind of operating with a 2-touchdown lead for most of that game, and they didn't have to be super aggressive. Hence the game that we saw from Justin Jefferson. It wasn't that normal, Justin Jefferson. He's usually going 100 plus, and we didn't have to do that. We relied on a running game, and my God, it was refreshing to see the Vikings run the football successfully. And to your point, they ran it when Dexter Lawrence wasn't on the field, and it's probably a good thing we got them in week 1 a little bit, because that guy's conditioning is not where it needs to be. He was not on the field as much as he needed to be, because that first couple drives, Dexter Lawrence was being his usual self, and he was wrecking our offensive plan. But our offensive line adapted well, and they did a great job with him going forward. I feel like their defensive line was neutralized, and you know what? That's a damn good defensive line that the Giants have.
Yeah, one of the ways that we always, like that one year we went up 21-0 on the Bears, right? Well, that's kind of like what happened here, except the Bears fought back, and we had bad special teams that game, and they got back into the game. What's the potential of that going if we don't keep our foot on the gas? You see what I'm saying? It's been our complaint in years past that we just stop putting our foot on the gas. There's a big difference, I think, from the first, not a huge difference from the first half to the second half. Now, what I like is we had Aaron Jones finally have a 4-minute drill where we was gaining yards and falling forward, and the offensive line held their own today. If we don't have that, do we let a better team back in the game? This was a horrible offense we played. They were not us, but them. Their offense was absolutely horrible and could do nothing. And Aaron and Daniel Jones was just inaccurate. Couldn't throw it. Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn today. It was terrible. I don't know if he was just antsy or just uptight. He was just throwing behind people, throwing on the ground at their feet. So it was just terrible. We play a better team, and if we don't put our foot on the gas deep into the second half, does the team come back on us? And that's what I want to make sure that we take to that next level. But my thoughts going into the game, every video I've done, I thought, and one of my biggest things, I needed Sam Darnold to be comfortable, not throw any, not turn the ball over, make good decisions, and our defensive played tough for him. I said we're going to win 20-10. The defense scored a touchdown on us. Otherwise, I was 21-6.
Yep.
So I was like pretty close. And that's the way I think we got to win with this. But we have an offense that could score more, and that's the next step, hopefully, that we'll take down the road. But right now, I love the way we win. That was the keys of the win. Every key that I put out there, my 5 keys of the victory, all of them happened. Yeah. All of them happened, and we did great in all of them, and we won the game going, 28-6. So I was pretty happy with it.
This game was the epitome of complimentary football. Where I think
everybody except for a punter kind of had a bad punt there, but yeah.
I agree with you. You know what, and they might move away from Ryan Wright, because it's pretty clear that he's one of the worst punters in the league. So,
and he had such a promising rookie year too.
Yeah, but I mean, what a fun week 1, just to go out there and dominate the New York Giants. Their fans were, really excited for this game. They were talking their shit. We're going to go up against Darnold, and that's my favorite thing. Is just feeling validated that Kevin O'Connell and the offensive line and the weapons around Darnold shows you that this offense can be successful without, with pretty much anyone at quarterback, because the system works. And, I was holding my breath there just because we didn't know what we were going to see from Sam Darnold. Is he going to be the guy that throws the dumb interceptions for no reason? He's seeing ghosts out there. He's not reading the defense. No, that wasn't who we saw out there today. We saw a point guard very much Brock Purdy-esque, right? Just running the offense, taking what the defense was giving him, had a nice deep ball to Jefferson, and it looked great. I love the game plan today. I love what the offensive line was able to do. Ed Ingram started out slow, giving up some pressure early, but I think he rebounded nicely. I didn't really notice Blake Brandel today, which is a compliment to him. That's fantastic. Hell, Christian Darrisaw got a flag for blocking too well. You see that?
Well, I did see him with the jersey on the shoulder, and then he came forward and then he pushed him down. I don't know if he called the jersey on the shoulder thing because I saw a tug there, but that shit usually doesn't get called. It was that just minuscule of a hold to where he then just muscled him down, and then even the announcers thought it was just should have been a no call. Now I'm gonna put a little water on the flame there. Any quarterback can run this offense. Well, we had 4 last year, and we won 6. Well, we win 6 games, 7 games.
You know what the difference is, though, Dave? They didn't have an offseason to prepare, so that's different.
Okay. Good point.
Thank you. Being the Skol Doc, I should mention something medical and bring something to the show a little bit different from what's out there. So let's talk about Jordan Addison's ankle for a second. Now, he injured the other ankle, okay? So it wasn't a re-aggravation of the same ankle. And the mechanism of injury does unfortunately look like a high ankle sprain, okay? It's an E-version ankle sprain where the ankle kind of gets stuck and somebody falls on your ankle and it makes your foot turn to the outside. So it's not the same as inverting your ankle like the routine sprain ankle. It's the opposite direction. So with that said, and we've talked about this before on the show, not every sprained ankle is the same, okay? The recovery time is different depending on the grade of injury. Grade 1 is stretching of the ligament. Grade 2 is partial tear. Grade 3 is complete rupture. Now, we did see him walking off the field, which is a good sign. Likely means that he did not completely rupture it. Pretty much rules out grade 3. And judging by what the Vikings have released, it sounds like it's probably a grade 1. With that said, I'd be surprised if he plays next week against the 49ers, and he's probably going to miss the next game against the Texans as well. I'm hoping that he's going to be able to return for the Packers game in 3 weeks.
So Mary Fisk makes a good point here. I believe the offense will only get stronger. Definitely a team win. Giants fans booing early in the game. That's one of the things I noticed is, like even after like the second drive, I think the Giants fans were just booing. And then, it didn't get too pronounced, but yeah, later the game got the worse it got. And just, I don't know, do you feel like it was a testament to how well we were playing defense? Because he missed some open people. And there was one on a scramble where he had a guy wide in the field and there was not 20 yards around him and he got tackled rather than throwing the ball. So there was just, I don't know, it looked like Daniel Jones was seeing ghosts today.
No, absolutely. I mean, you saw what Brian Flores was doing to him. He's putting 9 guys on the line of scrimmage saying, guess who's coming? And Daniel would take the ball and he would look at his first option. Well, first he's just looking, okay, what the hell is the defense doing? Who's coming at me right now?
Right, making him think before the play. And
exactly. So
you don't have a quiet mind.
Exactly. So he doesn't have the answers to the test like the old Donna shell system you're looking at there, and you're like, okay, they're showing me cover 2 shell. And you know where you're going with the football before the play starts. You have no idea where you're going with this football when the ball is snapped. So that takes 1 second right there. Then he has to look between his first option. By the time he went to his second, third option, he was pressured because the Vikings front 4 was causing all kinds of pressure. And I got to rewatch the film here on NFL Plus, but to me, it looked like the Vikings rushed 4 an awful lot today.
That was one of the things I noticed too, is that, we didn't have to show everything to these guys, that we were getting to the quarterback with 4. And that was great. Tillery showed he could play. And
Jihad Ward had a great game.
Yeah, Jihad Ward was back in there the whole time. It was great.
He's a big dude. Tillery, like you said, had a great rush up the middle, drew a holding call. Dallas Turner on those stunts is dangerous because he's so damn fast.
Now, on his sack, I give a lot of credit to how long the defenders stuck to their men to get him around the stunt.
Yeah, and I don't know who that was that stunted so that Dallas could go around.
Well,
But
and I almost think it was more his own creativity, because it did look like he got kind of stopped, and then he's like, you know what? Let me go around this way.
yeah,
I don't know how much it was a plan, but it was great instinct, because he didn't get out of they didn't get way out of position. It filled the hole. One of my big keys was to keep Daniel Jones in the pocket, make him be a pocket passer, and we did that. We stayed disciplined in our rush lanes, I thought.
and you know what? Nobody talks about Andrew Van Ginkel. That guy is the ultimate chess piece. He's all over the place, and he's such a read and react player. He's so football smart. He knows where the ball is going, and he's going to prove extremely valuable to this defense this year. And it's unfortunate going back to last year. I still think that we should have traded Danielle Hunter at the trade deadline. We did not capitalize on that. But the job that Kwesi has done this offseason in revamping that edge room, phenomenal. This front seven came to play today, and they dominated the game today. They dominated an offensive line the Giants put a lot of resources into trying to rebuild this year too. So I think that this defense is absolutely repeatable from a week to week, and it's going to keep us in a lot of ball games this year. So if the Vikings can build on their running game with Aaron Jones and Ty Chandler, build on the play action game with Sam Darnold, keep him comfortable, and our defense continues to look this good, you bet your ass the Vikings are winning more than 6.5 games this year. You bet your ass, and they might flirt around and make the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm still sticking with my 10 wins. I'm not going any higher yet because I want to see us play a little tougher team. But
so the Texans' defense today looked beatable to me. So we're going to have them in a couple weeks. We've yet to watch the Niners play. They've had some weird vibes to them. We get them next week at home. Then you got a Packers team, without Jordan Love at that time. So
and hopefully we're over backup quarterback hexes that we got going on us.
Oh my God. Can you imagine this Brian Flores defense against Malik Willis? Please. Aaron Jones going to go off for 200 at Lambeau.
Yeah, speaking of Flores, this was, pretty sweet victory for him, considering they didn't even really consider him as a head coach option. Bill Belichick said congratulations. He meant to text Brian Daboll.
Yeah.
He texted Brian Flores by mistake. He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, man. I meant to send that to Daboll." To have him come and win that game is amazing, and he had family there to watch it.
Guys in the comments, drop some comments. Let us know what you want us to talk about.
Yeah, throw some questions at Skol Doc. Now, what do you think of the so far the early things going on with Jordan Love's injury? What do you know about it so far?
Yeah, so they ruled out ACL. They told us that there's an MCL sprain, likely grade 1, grade 2. The average time missed is kind of variable, just like I talked about with the ligaments of the ankle. It's the same idea as the knee, the MCL, medial collateral ligament of your knee. And so the mean average time missed is 3 weeks with that injury. But it wouldn't be surprising if they're being cautious if he misses 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, so it all kind of depends. He's going to wear a brace when he comes back, and it's all going to have to do with swelling and pain pretty much for the next few weeks for him. But I would expect him to miss the Vikings game, may come back the week after that.
Gotcha. Everybody that's watching, make sure you're hitting like and share if you can. But right now we had 142 people join us throughout this broadcast, and we got 70 of you hitting the like button. So make sure, let's get some people in here. Skol Doc's first live show today. So let's make it a big one.
Will Reichard was hoping to see a little bit more of walk-off Will, but you know what? We didn't have to, and that's fine. The 2 extra points he kicked were pretty.
4 for 4, man. Let's do it. Hey, speaking of kicks, let's go through our over-unders, our
Yeah.
pick six segment. This is a little makeshift for this one, but we had pick six, Sam Darnold, 227 yards, over-under. We both said over. He didn't get that. So.
No, and you know what? That was mostly game script. He easily could have, but they were winning by 3 touchdowns, and they didn't really need to throw the ball. My narrative, the way I saw this game happening coming into this game, I thought they were going to have a tough time running against the Giants front. So you'll see I ended up going under on the rushing yards, and I was kind of like, prove it to me that the running game is going to be better, and I thought they would lean on the pass more like we've seen. So, yep, unfortunately missed on this one, but I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, and do you feel like Justin Jefferson 6 targets was more though because of the way they game planned him? We took what we were given.
Absolutely, yeah. I think if it's a closer game, they're going to get JJ the ball more with some closer routes to the line of scrimmage and manufacture offense through him. But it was clear after half that they were just trying to get the run game going and extend drives. So not too worried about that. I really don't have any nitpicks with the offensive performance today. I think that they played a very efficient offensive game, and hell, even the interception that Sam threw, some pressure. Dexter Lawrence got his arm. It was kind of an arm punt. I'm not mad about that. It's going to happen. Not upset about that one at all.
Yeah, I think with the underthrow of the pass interference, he couldn't follow through on it, so I wouldn't blame him on that. There was, and then the throw he threw it on third down, trying to get it to Justin Jefferson. That was a good idea. Maybe he might have lofted a little bit more to have it, arc a little bit so he can high point it a little more instead of hitting in the back. But it was good. They didn't get intercepted. I didn't feel like it was risk of interception. When he scrambled, he looked pretty comfortable in the pocket. Now, that touchdown to Naylor was perfect. Well, one of the good things is we game planned to where he had open receivers. Like, these weren't a lot of tight throws. The touchdown to Jefferson was a tight throw. All these other ones was like, hey, but he was completely accurate, threw it in the right spot, led the guy. There was no balls thrown behind, anything like that. He looked really good. Threw catchable balls to his running backs. I don't think there was a drop in the game, right? I don't think there was a drop. The throw to
JJ had a drop on a third down where it was a little bit short of the sticks.
Okay, I had sometimes my screen was freezing because YouTube didn't play the game, so I might have missed something. But yeah, so there wasn't a lot though. We were having last year at this time, we were having 5, 6, 7 drops a game to start the year, and throwing a few turnovers. But
let's talk about that play a little bit more though, because that was such an interesting play.
The Naylor play,
the fake wide receiver screen where you pump action to the flat to the wide receiver screen, and then you throw that fade route. So that is a really common play in the NFL and pretty easily readable by defenses. But the way that Kevin dressed it up, he lined up Justin Jefferson in the backfield first and then motioned him to the flat. And I think that got the defense to actually bite hard to where Naylor was wide open on that play. And also, if you rewatch that play, I want you to look at the tight end. Look at Johnny Munt on the left side of the line. He blocks for a second, then releases out. There's nobody around him either. So there was 2 wide open touchdown opportunities on that play. Just a brilliant scheme by Kevin O'Connell. Love what he was doing. Just so excited for Kevin O'Connell.
Well, the plays were so well designed. A lot of the times there was a guy open and he knew where to throw it. And I would say just Sam was super efficient today, super accurate today. The line kept him clean most of the time. It just felt good there. What I was going to say, the one nitpick I probably could say, hey, let's get the play in, guys.
Yes.
This crap. This is still a problem, man.
Yes, dude.
It's a new quarterback. It's a new quarterback from last year or whatever. But yeah, there was so many times I saw the clock 0. We hiked it. They didn't call a penalty on us.
Yes. No, it's right up that 0. And that's what the refs do. They see the 0 and then they look to make sure the ball snaps. So you had that split second afterwards. But I agree with you. There are so many times where they're breaking the huddle and they're getting up to the line with about 10 seconds to go. That's not enough time if you need to make a check or something. And Sam Darnold can only hear Kevin O'Connell in the helmet until 15 seconds.
Right.
So I would like them to get up faster, and so Kevin can give Sam a little directive of, hey, this is what we're seeing here. But I agree with you. I want it to be a little bit faster.
I think, and it will. It will.
Yeah,
I mean, the change
quarterback
from the Zimmer regime to the O'Connell regime, you could tell we were getting to the ball a lot quicker and allowing our quarterback to make adjustments. And I just think it's just new right now. I think obviously the longer the seasons go, the better he'll get. Yeah. And dare I say year 2, but I won't go there.
And it's a away game. It's loud,
Yeah, so it's a away game. But yeah, we got to clean that up, because I think we could have got a 5-yard penalty at least 3 times, not including those.
And I didn't love that we burned,
including those timeouts.
I didn't love that we burned 2 timeouts in the second half. Now that we had the game at hand, but still it'd be nice to keep those timeouts in your pocket. So what's our next over under?
Oh, okay. What says, hey Philly, we got the bum we don't want anymore. You'll want him. I don't know what you just said. All right. Hey, shout out to Dark Brown. All right. Pick 6, Jets 81 yards. I'm calling them Jets now because it wants to be called Jets.
Yeah, we both missed on this one. Usually JJ's an easy over for yards. Yeah. Doesn't matter who's throwing on the ball, but again,
he was a difference maker in the game because of the coverage had to go to him, and
I can't believe the Giants. Open. I can't believe the Giants lined up man on man, 1-on-1 on the goal line and gave him that slant. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. We'll take that every day.
And I commend Sam for the throw too, because that was tight cover. I mean, it wasn't exactly wide ass open. It was tight.
Yeah.
Oh, and good for Justin to hold on to it. It was great.
Now, the Vikings have played in, so many one-score games in the last several years. So it's like JJ's constantly has to be part of the game plan and, throwing the football. In a game like this where we're kicking their ass, we didn't have to throw the ball. We run the ball in the second half. So I'm okay with hitting the under on this one. I missed it. That's okay.
Yeah, and we were he was at like 60-some yards going into the fourth quarter, and I think they were trying to give him 100 because in the locker room speech when they gave him a game ball, he said, we tried like hell to get you 100, but
that was Aaron Jones. They're trying to get Aaron Jones.
What did I say? I meant Aaron Jones.
Yeah, no, we were talking about Jets.
I'm just saying that we ran the ball, so I'm feeding off of that. Aaron Jones had like 60 yards that half, and we kept running the ball. And I talked about earlier is that 4-minute drill, we just lack that for decades. I mean, before Cousins, before all that, we just could not close out. Even with Peterson, it seemed like we couldn't close out games in that 4-minute drill where we just hand the ball off and get a win. Aaron Jones was so shifty that he got open or he cut it outside. He read it, bounced it. He's perfect for that. And I was so happy to see that. But yeah, we both went over and we sucked on that one too. So
we just saw the narrative of this game playing out a little bit different than what actually happened, which is we'll take that. And you know what? Justin Jefferson would take that too. That guy was happy as hell for the win.
Yeah, we had long drives.
Here's another over that we would have hit. Unfortunately, he got hurt.
We probably would have got this one, but
yeah, he had a quick 3 catches. To me, this was an easy over before the game. I knew that he'd be part of the offensive plan. I knew that Justin Jefferson would be doubled and that Addison was going to eat against 1-on-1, and he was. It's unfortunate he got hurt. You know what? This is football. Injuries happen.
Yeah, that's one we probably easily could have had here. But hey, Naylor stepping up and getting that TD was great.
Daniel Jones, over half an interception, easy over, and we nailed it.
Yeah, this is the one we got. We both got this one.
Of course.
Next time we'll do it blind where you put it and don't give me your over right away just to make sure we're not influencing each other. But Will Riker, 1.5 field goals. I was expecting at least 2.
So was I.
Yeah, but we both
I guess the red zone offense is just too damn good.
Yeah, we're just awesome in the red zone now. We got a running game in the red zone, which
It
is
helps.
awesome.
It helps.
That helps. And let's see, who do we got here? We got the last one. Now, I have him on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
So I needed him to go over the higher 55. But and I think we probably did. I was saying we probably have a 60-40 or 70-30 split. And yeah, probably 60-40.
So, Dave and the listeners, what did everybody think about the Vikings switching series, going from Chandler to Aaron Jones and pretty much splitting that work pretty evenly?
Well, one of the things I think is like maybe they gave him 2 series, then they brought in, and then in the second half they spelled him a little more. I think in the second half, but
I think the
he's
second
definitely our lead back, though.
I think the second series was all Chandler, if I remember correctly. I think so. I really think that they're watching the mileage on Aaron Jones. They're being careful with him.
There's a lot of. Let's see, Aaron Jones, he had 2 targets. Chandler had 3 targets, 8 carries compared to 14. Yeah. Chandler only had 8 carries for 17 yards. Aaron Jones.
Yeah, 2.1 average. Not great for Chandler there.
Yeah. But it definitely shows more of like a 60-40 workload right now, which is, I would spell a guy pretty good, I think. I think that's a nice little, or even, 70-30, 60-40. And we weren't doing that before, right?
Yeah.
We haven't done that in years where we had, split the load. We just didn't have that other guy, it seemed.
So those are all the over-unders, right?
Yep. So I
1 for 6.
2 and 4, and you're 1 and 5.
Yeah.
So close.
That's all right. We'll come back strong next week.
Yeah. Thank you. Vikings expose the so-called improved littles. All right. Yeah. I don't know who was calling them improved though. Maybe they were, but let me get rid of this. Now they weren't very good in preseason, so I think Singletary doesn't look like too bad a player, and Neighbors look pretty good, right? It's just their quarterback, really.
Yeah, I didn't think. Well, first of all, they didn't take any shots down the field that game at all, which was a mistake in my opinion. So I would have liked to see Neighbors on a go ball at least once, and they really didn't do that. But I mean, again, the Vikings were just making life extremely difficult for Daniel Jones. So we could see the Giants come out next week and Neighbors go out for 100 yards. You know what I mean? And
yeah, I think Neighbors
make us feel even better about this defensive performance today.
Yeah, I think Neighbors is probably a real deal there. I think he was definitely a first round pick and got taken pretty high too. So, but yeah, I think he's the real deal. I don't see this Giants team winning many games. I think
no.
I think they're capped at like 3 if they keep this going.
So
at the most,
the Giants, the Panthers, the Raiders, the Commanders all looked pretty bad today.
Yeah, that's the list right there.
That's pretty much. And then you have the Patriots, although they beat the Bengals. I don't think they're going to be that damn great. And the Bengals historically last few years have come out and laid stinkers week 1. So it wasn't the most surprising defeat there. So we'll see. But
yeah, I said, isn't this how X works? Sam Darnold was greater than Joe Burrow today.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Isn't that how X works?
Yeah. So yeah, you know what? Don't let the fact that the Giants aren't a great football team stop you from really enjoying the ass whooping that the Vikings put on them today, because that's what good football teams do. They whoop bad teams' ass. Yeah. And it was nice. It was so nice.
We didn't have to take
comfortably and not have to worry or be stressed out at the end of the game. We haven't had that in a long time. And, I saw something online, Dave, said that Kevin O'Connell is now 18-0 when tying or winning the turnover battle. I mean, come on. This guy can coach. Lock his ass up. Ziggy, lock him up.
And I think it was Dusty said he was like 18-8 with a healthy starting quarterback.
Yeah. One that he's had for the offseason. So like the Josh Dobbs, that doesn't work.
No, I mean starting, the guy at the beginning of the year, that's my starter. Kirk Cousins, basically, because that's all he had, right? But a healthy starting is his starting quarterback in the game. He's 18-8.
Yeah.
Or something like that, which is pretty good, pretty good. And then now he's, he won this first one with Sam, and yeah, I think it's definitely a game to build on. Sam looked confident. I didn't feel like at all he was too much for him. I felt like the game was slowed down. He he was exactly what I thought he was, a very physically talented quarterback, and
Yeah.
that can make the good throws if he has time. And there was no bad decisions to make. It seemed because he had time, and
You know what's going to be
was
fun
pretty
too?
awesome. What's that?
You know what's going to be fun?
What's that?
When TJ Hawkinson comes back.
Yeah, I got him on my IR list on my fantasy team.
Yeah, he's in my IR too. So that's going to be fun, man. You get Addison and Hawkinson and JJ rocking again with Sam Darnold if he continues to be this efficient, and the defense is playing well. We can flirt with 10 wins. I smell what you're stepping in.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Although we do have a tougher schedule, I think win-loss wise this year than we probably had. Still,
you know what though? That stuff always changes. I mean, if Love is out week 4,
who gets hurt and stuff? Yeah, right.
I mean,
but what was I going to say? So the Lions we're winning here, I think.
What's going on
right now? Oh, Lions are up 17-3, man.
17. Oh, they scored again. Yeah, man, the Lions are going to be good. That's unfortunate. It's a good team. They got a great offense. Let's see who scored this last one. Catch made by Jameson Williams, 52 yards.
Oh, Gibbs got a TD, so I'm going to win my fantasy league. All right, let's go. I just rooted for a Lion.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a good segue. Let's talk about some of the other games today. I want to start with the Bears. I kind of kept an eye on the Bears. I live here in Chicago, and I kept an eye on the Bears while I was watching the Vikings, and Caleb Williams did not look good at all.
That's the whole game. Heard.
The whole game looked terrible. And the Titans got out to a 17-0 start, and then the Bears got a touchdown through a punt block, and then they got an interception, pick 6, from just a hilariously stupid play from Will Levis. It looked like something Nick Mullins would do under pressure. So unfortunate. I feel like, the Titans had that game in Soldier Field, and the Bears kind of deserved to lose that game. And then they did what the Bears have been doing for the last 20 years of my life and winning with lucky-ass defensive plays, and it is what it is.
Yeah, I went to a Titans game one time, and they had 2 defensive touchdowns. Bears did against the Titans because I lived in Nashville. And I wore a Vikings jersey because we played the afternoon game, and that's when Ponder had 60 yards passing. I forget, against Seattle.
Checks out.
It was so bad.
Checks out.
So bad. But I saw the Bears just absolutely dominate the Titans, and it's always kind of been that way. It seemed like Bears have always got these scoring.
I remember I was in residency. I was scrubbing out from a surgery. I think it was Thursday night. The Vikings were playing in Seattle, and I turn on the game on my phone. First play I see is Kirk Cousins throwing the football behind him to, I think it was Alexander Madison or something. I don't remember who it was. And they lost 10 yards or something. You remember that play? Kirk threw the ball.
That happened recently he did that recently in a game.
It was in Seattle. Year. It must have been a couple years ago because I've been out in practice.
I want to say he did against the Chargers.
Yeah.
But
I just turned my phone off and just went and saw patients.
Yeah.
Enough of that.
But yeah, Caleb Williams, 14 for 29, 93 yards, a 3.2 average. Yeah, not so good. QBR 22, QB rating 55.
Some other observations. The Browns are in trouble because Deshaun Watson is cooked. That guy sucks.
So, how many
garbage.
Viking fans wanted Deshaun Watson, man?
Oh my God! Thank
Twice
God we
we
didn't do
wanted him.
that.
My
Wow.
career podcasting was my biggest video, or not video, audio was Deshaun Watson hype coming to the Vikings, and I feel pretty good that I have never wanted him at all. Did not want him at all, and I feel pretty good about that. Same way with Wilson.
Yeah, that was a giant shit sandwich waiting to happen. That guy is garbage. Cowboys look great. They look like they're probably Super Bowl contenders. The Buccaneers look damn good against the Commanders, and maybe a little bit of that is the Commanders just are a real bad football team.
What about you think Philly? They gave up 29 points to the Green Bay?
You know what? That whole game was a shit show with that field. I think Philly's offense is going to be
slipping, a lot of
really
slipping
good
stuff. Yeah,
but I don't want to take too much away from that game just because it was weird. Like nobody had footing, and it was just not fun to watch. It wasn't a fun football game to watch.
What do you think? The Saints were that good, or the
I
Cardinals
was
that bad?
I was so surprised at that because I thought the Saints were going to be bad this year, but my God, the Panthers. That's a team that's probably going to pick number 1 overall, and they're probably going to move on from Bryce Young because they are bad. Look for Adam Thielen to be traded somewhere at the deadline.
Buffalo.
Cardinals were winning a lot of that game, and then Josh Allen went Superman, ran in a couple touchdowns by himself, and Cardinals were the only team that had success today returning the football on the kickoff. They returned a touchdown, and they had another long return too. It helps I have Red Zone on while I watch the Vikings. I got Red Zone on my computer, so I'll kind of keep up with some of these games.
Yeah, I had to do something different today, but next week I'll have like 4 games on at the same time in Red Zone.
I was surprised though because I have Dalton Kincaid in a couple fantasy leagues. I thought he was going to be the primary target guy in that offense. He had 1.6 fantasy points today. He didn't do shit.
Yeah. I had one of my leagues. I have like a freaking just crazy good team, and I recently traded I got Jefferson and Cook from the Bills, and ETN, and I gave him McCaffrey, and I gave him Pickens, and I gave him Najee Harris, and
Nice.
and it looks and I didn't have ETN because I have Aaron Jones, so that was smart of me. But it looks like the top 2 players are going to outscore my top 2 players, and it looked like it was a big win for me. But yeah, Jefferson only getting 6 targets, but Cook looked all right, but he only got like 15. Got about 14, 15 points. Pickens had like 13. So yeah, it might not work out. Yeah, it'll work out long term, I think, because I don't know if McCaffrey will stay healthy all season.
Looks like Rams are about to score here. That'd be nice to have the Lions lose.
What do we got? Let's shout out here Darren Roberts Ryan from X. Dude, go on YouTube right now. Subscribe to Minnesota Sports Talk so you can get more Skol Doc and Dave.
Yes, sir.
Here we go. And I'll go live on Sundays from now on. It was just today they actually were playing the damn thing on local television here. Unfortunately, I don't have cable, so
JMO was a guy I was looking at for that draft, Darren. I listened to Matthew Collar, and Collar was a big JMO guy. He's been pretty poor in his NFL career so far. But now he's got the clear number 2 job for the Lions, and obviously he's having a good game to start. He's got a lot of speed, and we'll see where his career goes. But, unfortunately, that 2022 draft for the Minnesota Vikings and Kwesi is not one to remember. We've talked a lot about it, and but I think that Addison was a great pick by him.
You'd probably rather have Addison, though, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think so. Yes, I think Addison's a better player, but we'll see what J-Mo does with a full year as a starting number 2.
Yeah, I probably would still rather have the safety, right?
Seen?
No.
Kyle
Oh,
Hamilton?
Hamilton.
Yeah, Hamilton was a all-pro, I think, as a rookie, which does not happen. So
Yeah, I wanted three
the Lions
dudes.
score, they kick a field goal.
I wanted 3 dudes. They all went 12th, 13th, and 14th. And then when we traded down, the 3 guys that I wanted at that 12th spot all got drafted 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Kyron Williams, touchdown. 17-10. All right. Let's go Rams.
Let's go.
I'm such a Stafford fan. I love that guy. You see that clip where his shoulder was out? And he said, I can throw the ball, and he goes in there.
Year.
What?
Rookie year, and then Culpepper.
Yeah, rookie year. Throws the ball.
Culpepper came into the game. They took him out.
Yeah.
He was gonna play that, throw that last play, but I said, no, I can do it.
Man. He's the man, dude. Love that guy. Tough as nails. Mary, talk to us. What do you think about the game today?
Yeah, Winfield Jr. Yeah, Mary.
Newbin had a nice tackle today. Minnesota Gopher.
Yeah, that's right. Giants. Second round pick. Oh, he was hyped.
Oh, I was a big Winfield Jr. guy in the draft. Oh my God, I wanted that guy. That was a fun season. I was a bandwagon.
Gladney, right?
Yeah. I was a bandwagon fan that year. I typically like bandwagon a team every year for college football. I don't really have any allegiances. Last year was Washington. This year might be NIU. Big win over Notre Dame. That was fun. Do you guys think we are getting a win against the 49ers? Well, I want to see them play tomorrow night against the Jets and see how it looks. The vibes with the 49ers are not great coming in through training camp. Ayuk didn't get a lot of practice time. Trent Williams was out for a while with contract disputes. So we'll see if they just shit on the Jets tomorrow night. I'm going to feel a little bit worried about that. But one thing to keep in mind is that they're going to have a day short of rest for the game. They have to come to Minnesota to play next week. They lost last year in Minnesota. And granted, Trent Williams wasn't playing. Deebo Samuel wasn't playing. But if the defense is going to play hard, keep us in the football game, and if our run game with Aaron Jones is looking like it did today, we got a shot. Yeah, we can beat the Niners at home.
Beat them without Justin Jefferson last year, so it's all possible, man.
Yeah, now I think the early line is like 6.5-point dogs at home, but we were 1.5-point favorites today. We won by 3 touchdowns.
And historically, they don't beat us at home either. So hopefully it's not a breaking trend, but we played very well against the 49ers at home. I feel a lot better with that defense we got right now, man.
Funny story about betting lines. I got married September 22nd, 2018. Now, the next day, we played the Bills at home with a rookie, Josh Allen. The Vikings were 17.5-point favorites for that game. The Vikings lost by like double digits. It wasn't even close. That's the game where Josh Allen jumped over Anthony Barr. And so don't always go by betting lines. You know what I mean? Anything can happen.
Yeah, that was just Jesus that year, man.
Barber says we're beating the Niners. I like it, Barber. 2-0. And everybody said this, the first stretch of the schedule was going to be impossible. The Vikings aren't favored after week 1 for 7 weeks, consecutive weeks or something. Well, guess what? Shit changes quick.
I was telling GG Sports on our Wednesday show, like, this was I never use must win, but I'm like, yeah, if we lose, I'm gonna have to reevaluate what I thought about this team.
It felt like it. I agree. If they lost this week, I'd be pretty down on the season.
I'd be like, you know what? Let's build off of this. Let's improve.
Well, starting 0-2, especially 0-3, is terrible regarding your prospects to make the playoffs.
We found that out last year.
Yeah. You know, we were bucking that though. If Kirk stayed healthy, we were making the playoffs last year. We were.
Yeah, I felt like when we got to even and the way we were drilling the Packers, that was a playoff team in a contender. You know, San Francisco obviously went to the.
What a gut punch! We were feeling so damn good that game where Jordan Addison was just making Jair.
Oh God, it was epic.
We were feeling so good, and then just got gut punched, and we knew our season was over, and it sucked.
And then we got a flicker of hope with the Rocket Man, and then what do we got going? We got what's the score? 17-10.
17-10. And Lions just punted the ball. The Rams are going to have it on their own 16 with a chance to go tie up the game late in the third quarter. How do I feel about Ingram? Asked Barber. I thought the first drive was typical Ingram. You know, I know Dexter Lawrence is a mammoth of a human being, but you're in the NFL too, sir, and it's your job to block his ass. And he was wrecking our game plan, and it wasn't looking good. And I had a really bad feeling for the entire offensive day because of what I was seeing from Ingram. But then second quarter, I stopped noticing him. So Ingram must have stepped up. And we talked about this earlier in the show, but I think part of that was conditioning. And Kevin O'Connell said in his post-game speech that we looked more conditioned than the Giants because their defensive line, I think they were sucking air in the second half. And I think our offensive line was starting to roll.
I feel like this is the most prepared we look to start a season under his regime so far, even though we had some penalties, although there's some ticky-tack. Like Bradbury didn't hold that guy. And that was on the same play.
No,
and that was the same. Call. So I feel like that was the same drive as the PI. So we got kind of screwed, and then we got the PI call.
Yeah.
So it was like a makeup call.
Wasn't there another pass interference play from us that I thought was kind of tic-tac? I didn't really like that one. I'm trying to remember.
There was one. He pushed the guy down.
Really late call by Shaq, I think.
Yeah, it was, but it looked like our guy pushed him down. So I It was probably a good call, but yeah.
So I went at Peter Bukowski. You know this guy, this Packer beat writer, Peter Bukowski?
Yeah, I've heard the name.
He's a pissant. Hate that guy. Anyways, he tweeted.
Tell me how you really feel there, Skol Doc.
Yeah, he sucks. Anyways, he tweeted when we signed Stephon Gilmore, he said, why? Like, this doesn't make any sense. You know, a Packer fan, like, trying to shit on everything the Vikings do.
Makes absolutely perfect sense.
And I responded, I was like, well, it's quite easy to understand, actually. If you let the cornerbacks on this team ruin the entire defense, it's not going to work, right? You need to allow B-Flow to call the game as he needs to call it. And you have a Caleb Evans out there who can't cover for more than 1 second, you know, making this a disaster. You know, that's why Flores had to either rush 3 or rush 8. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Now, when you have competent corners, just average corners who can cover for 3 seconds, that's all we're asking you to do, really, is 3 seconds. The front four is getting there to apply pressure, and look at what we saw today, right? So I threw a tweet back at him today, and I was like, this is why you signed Stephon Gilmore. And I thought that what we saw today from the 3 starting corners, Byron Murphy, Gilmore, and Shaq Griffin was perfect. Loved it. And this wide receiver room of Slayton, Hyatt, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Malik Neighbors, it's all right. It's fine. It's dangerous enough to make plays on you, and they did a good job shutting them down.
Yeah, one a nice comment was, our cornerback room was doing good when nobody was complaining about them. You know, like like there wasn't any like big problems or super bad plays or anything like that.
Oh, the Rams are driving.
We've been used to having that. Someone got burnt. Some safety was out of position, or they didn't communicate well, and who knew what and that was Evans like, hey, they didn't know what coverage we were in. He's tweeting out. I'm like, yeah, we didn't have that today. And like you said, they didn't really take shots, but it was great to have a game where we weren't complaining about our corners, and honestly, they were covering and allowing guys to get to the quarterback, and not necessarily the other way around. We had 5 sacks today, which was pretty good for our first game, and we didn't blitz all that much.
Yeah, I didn't think
Well,
we blitzed that much either.
yeah, well, more as much as usual.
If I'm nitpicking, I would have liked to see a little bit more from Gennard against their right tackle.
Yeah, I could see that. Earlier Darren Ryan here, welcome to the show. He loves Van Ginkel. I thought he was perfect for this team. I was pretty excited about it. Miami fans. I text my Miami buddy or my Miami fan buddy that I'm like, Van Ginkel pick 6, and he just laughed. He was
the same pick 6 he had for them. He had the same play for them. Darren Ryan, so he came over from X. Thank you for getting on Twitter, or thank you for jumping on YouTube.
Yeah, make sure to
subscribe. Let's talk some ball, man.
This is Skol Doc's not debut as live, but his debut show that's live. He's been live before with us, but this is his first time going live as an own show. So
yeah, dude, it's fun. I love talking with fans. We got to get more people in here. It's fun.
Yeah, we will. If we do this consistently, there'll be more and more people.
Yeah, I'd love to see you guys every Sunday night after Vikings games. We'll come on here. We'll cheer. We'll bitch. We'll have fun.
Yeah, believe it or not, losses are a lot busier.
Mary, let's talk about the 49ers win in 2012. I remember in 2009, I was at a Buffalo Wild Wings in Rockford, Illinois, because that's what I had to do back before Sunday Ticket. You drove to Buffalo Wild Wings so you could watch the Vikings play. Because I live in Illinois, always have. So they're not on TV. So I drive to the Buffalo Wild Wings. This is with Brett Favre as our quarterback, week 4, when they had that play that's in my intro video where he threw the ball to Greg Lewis when his time was expiring. And I hugged a random Vikings kid in a jersey. Had no idea who he was, just jumping up and down, excited. Always remember that win for the rest of my life. So, yeah, it's funny how some wins will just stick with you. You know where you were, and
So I was at a local sports bar with a couple of my buddies, fantasy teams together, and one's a Miami fan. This was in Nashville. One's a Miami fan. I forget the other guy's team. But there was some San Francisco fans, and I'm a Viking fan. I was cheering and every once in a while, but I wasn't directing at them. But the San Francisco fans were directing the shit at me, and they were like, "It's over, it's over!" And then when Greg Lewis got that in his first catch of the year, his only catch up from that point, touchdown. My buddies, not me, my buddies jumped up and started saying, "Now it's over. Now it's over."
Didn't they just sign him?
49er fans.
I think they just signed him like a week before that. He was like brand new to the team.
I don't know how many games he'd been on the team yet, but the only reason he was out there is because someone got tired and walked off, and left the field, and he got to play. And then he got that, and then won a frickin' ESPY.
That toe touch, my God, the toe touch.
Oh, God, awesome. Yeah, it was great, man. His first catch of the season. He wasn't even supposed to be out there.
Yeah,
and that sparked the season, right? That sparked the season.
Yeah, Darren.
Oh, and she's talking about 2012 though. That was 2009.
Yeah, no, yeah. I brought up 2009.
Okay, yeah. 1987, we weren't supposed to beat the 49ers either. I had Greg Coleman on here to talk about that. And that, I don't know if that's one of my favorite shows I ever did. If you ever get a chance and you want to know about the 1987 season, me and Justin Taylor talked to Greg Coleman about the 87 season. And it was just fantastic. It was one of my favorite things I've ever done in my life, was to interview him. So
looks like
to Greg Coleman.
Looks like the Rams are about to score here. They're on the 2-yard line, 1-yard line. First and goal. Probably give that to Kyron Williams. Tie this game up. Let's go Rams. Man, it would have been sweet if the Bears finished that loss and the Vikings were the only team
Ah,
to win this week.
that'd
Love
been
that.
awesome. I've been talking so much shit. I would have went on that round table with that Bears fan. I forget the name of the show. But yeah, I would go on that immediately. I'd be like, text them, go, hey dude, I'm ready to come back on.
Darren, I love the 2009 up until the Bounty Gate. I have major hatred for the Aints to this day.
I tell everybody about how we hate Sean Payton and that we do memes where we replace his eyes and mouth with assholes.
Sean Payton's such a fucking fraud. He rode the curtails of Drew Brees his entire career, and now he ends up in Denver, and he does this bullshit acting like he wanted Bo Nix the entire time over J.J. McCarthy. And guess what? If he did, he's an idiot because Bo Nix is garbage. He broke a record today for completing the most amount of passes for the least amount of yards. He completed like 28 passes for 165 yards today in their loss to the Seahawks. That team is going nowhere. Sean Payton's taking them nowhere. The rest of his career is kaput. He's garbage.
Tell us how you really feel, Skol Doc.
Rams score. Oh, I keep it real. Keep it 100 on this show. Welcome in, everybody. You get the real deal. There's no censorship on this channel. At least on my show. I don't know about your other shows.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
The Rams score. Dave Thibodeau says Rams score.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet on
my app is yet to update.
Yeah, they were at the 5 on the game cast, so they must have scored.
Darren, I also have a dislike for Favre. He forced a pass and got picked. I shouldn't be surprised, though. He's the interception king. Yeah, man. His ankle was hanging on by a single tendon, so what? I don't even know if he would have been able to fucking play in the Super Bowl, Dave. What do you think? I don't know.
They showed his. I saw a picture of his injury.
Yeah.
And his whole freaking thigh was purple, man.
Oh, the Rams have not scored yet, dude.
And the only reason he came back the next year, he said, was because the money was just too good. Because we were in a second uncapped year.
Oh, that's why he came back?
He just said the money was too good not to come back.
I was at that game. So I was at the very last game that Brett Favre ever played. I had tickets to the Metrodome. It would have been my first time at the Metrodome, by the way. I've never been. To see the Bears play the Vikings. The roof collapses. Okay. And the tickets that I had, which were not great tickets, became general admission. So my brother, my stepdad, and me, we got to the college stadium and stood there for like 4 hours before gates opened. And we got 50-yard line front row seats for Bears at Vikings at the college stadium.
Oh,
now,
wow.
The field was frozen. There was snow all over the place. People were throwing snowballs and whatnot. And the Vikings played a shit game. I think Devin Hester had a return for a touchdown that game. And Corey Wooten sacked Brett Favre, spun him down in a circle kind of. And Brett's head hit the ground, the ice-cold pavement of the college stadium at that time. And it was lights out. I think he actually went unconscious. And that was the last snap that Brett Favre ever played.
Yeah, they installed like heaters underneath that later on. But when they first put the field in, I don't think they had it.
Rams got a field goal. It's 13-17.
Yeah.
Yeah, Darren, I don't know if Brett Favre would have been able to play in that Super Bowl, man, because his ankle was screwed up. Now, he was Iron Man, though.
Yeah, I think they took a lot of drugs and needles back then, so it's like he might have played.
Yeah.
And he had a prescription medication problem at one time.
Oh, I'm sure. He also had a problem sending inappropriate pictures to beautiful women,
Yeah, when he was with the Jets.
showing off his Peyton Mann thing.
Kind of ruined that girl's career too.
Oh, did he? That's unfortunate.
She was the girl, the Florida State girl. You know how they have like pictures of beautiful Florida State
I thought
girls?
she was associated with the Jets somehow.
Yeah, she was a Florida State girl, and she was in the communications or whatever. So she had the job with the Jets, but she got famous for wearing cowboy hats and tank tops at Florida State games in the front row. And she tried to make a legitimate career out of it, being in that field, and yeah, that kind of ruined her career.
Well, that's
Favre came and Favre did that. Questionable morals with that guy a little bit, but it was funnier.
Yeah.
My seats were 18 rows from the Vikings bench. I almost had a heart attack. I wish I could have went to games. The most famous game I went to was Michael Vick's rookie year when he did that overtime run. Yeah, I went to that game. Atlanta, we got screwed in a I think a penalty in the end zone, pass interference in the end zone or something like that.
Yeah.
And tie game. He's got it like the 50-yard line or whatever, or either for their own 40 or something like that, and he scrambles around, runs it in. Just made us look silly.
Gary says, "Man, I'm late."
Yeah, Gary, come on,
Gary. We're gonna
this is impromptu.
Live. We're gonna be going live on Sundays about 8:30. That's when my baby goes to bed. That's when I get freedom to hop on and talk Vikings. So we'll see you next week at 8:30. Gary and Mary.
Yeah, they say hi to each other a lot on the chat.
Gary, what do you want to talk about, my man? What do you feel about the game today?
Yeah, Gary, tell us what you thought of the game, man. AJ, what's up, man?
AJ, what's up?
Who in here is going to Skol Fest? I'm sorry I can't go. I don't have vacation, FYI. That is the sole reason why I can't go.
I will not be there either.
Yeah.
I know JJ Vikes is going. I saw him tweet about it.
Yeah. I will make sure I'm there next year.
Let's see. Anything else about the Vikings game today that we have not covered?
So, I mean,
not too many negatives outside of the punter, man. Punter sucks. Is it too hard to find a damn punter?
The time, not time management with the clock a little bit there with the getting the play in and then the punter.
Yeah.
Oh, and bad penalties like Agent Zero just decided to slap that guy in the face to, it was the frickin' was muffed too. What if we would have recovered that, man? You know what I'm
Jake
saying?
Patterson,
Ivan Pace slapped that. What's that?
Jake Patterson, Giants fan here. Good game. We played like shit. Best luck for the season. Thanks for tuning in, man.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, I don't think the Giants are as bad as what they showed today. I think that a lot of teams and fan bases outside of Minnesota were just assuming that Sam Darnold was this garbage quarterback. And when you look at the context of his career, being with Adam Gase in New York and being with Matt Rule in Carolina, not really having offensive weapons to support him or good offensive lines, this guy's showing you that he's got a top 5 arm in the draft. He was drafted top 5 in the draft because he's got a strong arm. And he's capable of being a top 32 NFL quarterback. And he said this, he wants to play point guard and he wants to just let it come to him and be efficient. And that's what he did today. And I I think he can continue to do so, and I think it shocked a lot of Giants fans because that's not what they were expecting. And in terms of our defense, same thing. A lot of other fan bases, they don't really know a lot of the names to this Vikings defense. It's just not a lot of flashy names that they really know. And so Brian Flores has these guys playing roles very well. And this is the output, this is the result of a bunch of guys doing their job at a really fast level. And it was awesome to see. So best of luck to that guy's Giants team this year. I do think that their offense has a much higher ceiling than what they showed today. And I think that Daboll's a good enough coach to turn it around. I just think that the Vikings were more prepared today and wanted it more, and we're more talented football team, honestly. Probably not 3 touchdowns more talented, but sometimes that's the way it rolls.
Yeah, I think freaking Jameson's having a day today.
Yeah, Dallas Turner showed his speed today. He didn't really. I mean, Andrew Thomas is one of the better left tackles in the league, so he commended him in one of his post speeches that Andrew Thomas was phenomenal, but he kind of won on a stunt today and just showed how fast he can close on the quarterback. And another thing that Dallas Turner can do that you didn't really see today is he can drop in coverage and with fluidity and cover tight ends and actually catch the football.
Yeah, I mean our outside linebackers aren't like Danielle Hunter now, or Danielle Hunter was playing out of position. He did his best, but we got guys that play that position now, and that's great. They're not they're not defensive ends playing outside linebacker. Danielle Hunter was just playing out of position for us, but he did a phenomenal job. And they used him kind of more properly last year than they did the first year. But having guys actually made for that position is so refreshing. Van Ginkel, Turner, Bernard. It's refreshing to have guys in the 250s, 260s rather than 280 playing that position.
Gary's asking, how was the kicking game today? Well, Will went 4 for 4 in extra points. And in terms of the kickoff game, the Vikings sent every single kickoff out of the back of the end zone. They did not allow the Giants to try to return one. Well, there was a couple kicks that were fair caught in the end zone, pretty deep in the end zone. But it was pretty clear that the Vikings strategy going into this game at least was we're going to let the Giants start with the ball at the 30-yard line. Rams interception.
That'll work.
Yes, sir. Let's go. Come on, Rams. Ooh, that was the Detroit was in the red zone there too.
Yep.
So
yep.
That's a costly one. Great pick. Make sure he got it. Looks like he caught it. We'll see if that stands. Balls looks like he might trap it just a little bit. We'll see here. Uh-oh.
Here's a huge difference in the game. We got 12 hits on Daniel Jones, and they only got 2 on our quarterback. 2.
We'll see. The ball hit the ground here. I don't know. Tough to tell. We'll see if that gets turned over. Hopefully that stays an interception. Yeah, man, the Rams are going to be, the Lions are going to be a damn good team. I mean, we're talking about a team that was about a half away from going to the Super Bowl last year. They were really close to beating the Niners to go to the Super Bowl. And I think Detroit got better. So barring health, I think Detroit's going to be a great team, tough team to beat. And what makes them so dangerous is that they can beat you both ways. They can run the ball down your throat with power, or they can win with the pass with their fantastic tight end and Amon-Ra St. Brown. So, and then on defense, they can dive at your knees at a high rate of speed and try to tear every ligament in your knee. So
Amon St. Brown, two catches for 8 yards.
It looks like his knee just tweaked too.
Yeah, St. Brown got 2 catches for 8 yards.
Oh, so the Rams, that interception that stayed. The Rams have the ball. That's awesome. Tim Brandt asked, do we need C.J. Ham? You know, I think CJ Ham actually had a great game today outside of that fumble. I thought after the fumble with the running game, he made some great blocks and really got the running game going. And it seemed that Aaron Jones did a good job running behind CJ Ham. And Aaron Jones comes from the Packers system that was a lot of single back. So he didn't really have a fullback a lot when he was in Green Bay. So, and CJ Ham also does a great job on special teams too. So yes, I think CJ Ham is a valuable component to the Vikings offense.
What's your answer to this? Hate I miss a game. Are D that good today, or Giants just suck?
It was a little bit of both. The defense was definitely impressive, and it was a lot of, well, they stopped the run well, first and foremost. That put Daniel Jones in a lot of situations where he had third and longs. And Brian Flores did his thing where he put 8 guys on the line of scrimmage, and he said, guess who's coming? And in the past, he would blitz a lot. Now, this game, they didn't blitz a ton. I think they rushed 4 a lot. And they got a lot of pressure on Daniel Jones. The Giants did move the ball a couple times. They got into the red zone. Harrison Smith got an interception in the end zone, which was great. And then the Giants were backed up in their own end zone, like on the 5-yard line or something, and they tried to throw a wide receiver screen, and Andrew Van Ginkel jumped it and caught the ball and took it into the end zone for an interception. You should look for that play because it was really great to see. So, yeah, the defense was fantastic, and the Giants, as a result of that, looked terrible on offense. But if I had to say, like, was it the Giants' ineptitude versus the Vikings making them look bad? I would definitely say I would give the Vikings credit. They made the Giants look bad.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The pressure we put on them, we hit them 12 times to them hitting us twice. I don't remember a game where we only got hit. Our quarterback only got hit twice, but that's pretty impressive.
Well, it helps when you don't throw the football 40 times too.
Oh, that's true.
Well, I think Darnold would have had 22 attempts. Does that sound right?
Yeah,
something like that.
Got hit twice, so I'm pretty happy with that. A big testament to I was a little worried how we started out with our offensive line, right? Because Ed Ingram got blown up on one of those plays, but you didn't hear anybody's name being called for something bad the rest of the game,
Gary says, who stood out on defense today? Andrew Van Ginkel is the first name that comes to mind. He had 4 tackles, a sack, and an interception return. Harrison Smith got an interception in the end zone. The whole front seven
Murphy led us with tackles 9 with 8 solo.
The whole front seven honestly just stood out. I mean, the pass rushers, they were getting solid defense or pressure. Jarrett Tillery got pressure from the inside. I mean, it was just one of those games where everybody looked good.
Yeah, I couldn't say that anybody looked bad on defense today, really. There was like I don't know if it was breakdown or someone in the wrong coverage, but like Stephon Gilmore released a guy. He got an easy catch. Safety went deep. He released the guy. So I don't know what was thought there. There was just, there was very rarely that we did something bad, though, to leave a guy wide ass open. So it was, but, Daniel Jones was inaccurate today, but it was because we were on his asshole the whole game. So
yeah, we hit him.
So we made it happen.
He's gonna feel that tomorrow. We hit his ass. Offensively, if I had to choose one guy who really stood out to me, it was Aaron Jones. When that guy touches the football, it looks different, man. It's like young Dalvin Cook, the speed that he has. It's impressive. Rams are moving down inside the 10. Chance to take the lead.
Squad 51 wants to know, this is what we expect from Darnold every week.
Yeah, I don't see why not, man. If Darnold, I expect it to be a roller coaster ride. He's going to have weeks where you're just like, what the hell was that? And then he's going to have weeks where I think he looks perfectly fine. But Why not, dude? I mean, as long as you don't get in negative game scripts and you're down by 10 plus points, I think we'll be fine. When Sam Darnold feels like he has to play hero ball, I think we're going to be in trouble.
I'm pretty impressed with his Skol for life. The 99 yards is the first.
Rams
There's
score.
only been
Touchdown, Rams.
Yeah, 99-yard touchdown since Bernard Berrien, 99-yard touchdown reception from. Who was it? Was it Farrat that threw that? I forget. But anyways, that was pretty awesome. So Gary, yeah, and that sack came early too. So we pretty much, and then on his pick, his arm got hit when he threw it. But yeah,
yeah, I think
yards
the pressure
rushing.
came
I think we had like 110. It was pretty good.
It was one of those. So I think Ingram gave up pressure to Dexter Lawrence, and then when Sam went to throw the ball, it's one of those deals where Dexter Lawrence hit Sam's arm like this, and so he couldn't follow through. So the ball just goes like straight up in the air, and the defense caught it. Now I feel like
Sheffield that was in there that
Trent
probably had a shot at it.
Trent Sherfield had a shot at least knocking it down. He actually like tried to go up and catch it, but the defender high pointed it from him. He should have played DB in that situation, but still, we talked about this. I was not upset with the interception at all from Darnold. It was later in the game when they already had a 2+ touchdown lead, and it didn't really affect the game much. And it's one of those fluke things where it was a protection breakdown. It was more on Ingram than it was on Darnold. Gary says our offensive line only gave up 1 sack and we had over yards rushing. That defense was awesome. How did we do that?
We just talked about that. That's what I had up.
Yeah, man, just staying efficient, just taking what the defense gives you and running the ball well. Honestly, that's what it was, running the damn ball.
Yeah, well, I give a lot of credit to Aaron Jones creating some of that, though.
For sure.
In air, but yeah, it was still pretty good.
I mean, these yards were there last year to be had, but we just didn't have a running back good enough to do it.
Yeah.
So
and he falls forward. And it's he turns his there was that first down where he turned his back and just got over
like a 3rd and 2
yards.
Yeah, he got stuck like 2 yards short, and somehow he just kind of turned.
Somehow he did it, and and it's like we did not have that. We do not have that. And then he beats the guy to the corner, and that play wasn't supposed to go that way.
He's so fast.
He's quick. He's short area quickness, man. He made people he broke their ankles he was dead in the water and he gets 2, 3, 4 yards. He's behind the line of scrimmage and he's going to 2, 3, 4 yards. He made a lot of that happen. Who is your player of the game? My player of the game is Aaron Jones. Honestly, I thought he meant so much to us.
I'm going to say player of the game today. I got to go with Andrew Van Ginkel, man. He sealed the game. Pick 6.
He had that sack too. He had that sack earlier. He was walling his guy, waiting for him to take off. Yeah. Such a smart play.
And then number 2, I would say Sam Darnold, because it's his first start with the Minnesota Vikings. He played within himself. He had a great game. And then number 3, I'd go Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
3 stars of the game. All right, guys. Anything else you want to talk about before we hop off tonight? So currently the Lions are losing. Again, that would just be a hell of a week if the Bears somehow lost that game. Tennessee had it, man. They had it. They let them off the hook. I'm not too worried about the Bears, though, man. I think the Vikings, when they play the Bears and they put everybody on the line of scrimmage like that, it's going to fluster Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I think people were hyping up Caleb Williams where I was even starting to buy it.
Dude, it's hard to be a rookie in this league.
Yeah.
St. Brown's all right.
And I don't hide the fact that I wasn't wanting Sam Darnold to come to our team because I wanted, if we were going to have a shot, we were going to get a quarterback, I wanted just a a true, a guy just to mentor the rookie quarterback, and I thought that would have been fine with Nick Mullins and then get a rookie to get in there and start. But obviously, and honestly, if JJ McCarthy was our starting quarterback, he wouldn't be hurt right now because he wouldn't have been in the games. He would have been playing as much as Sam Darnold did. Uh, but the fact that Sam Darnold's on our team right now, I'm happy for it because the injury did happen, and we have Sam Darnold. And if he stays within himself like this, now hey, when do me a favor, Sherlock. I don't have NFL Plus anymore, but when you go back and look at the games, Sam Darnold did throw a lot of checkdowns to running backs this game.
Mhm.
I looked to see if there was anybody like open downfield that he could maybe thrown it down there and tell me what you thought.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the case. I just want to
pick.
know.
Oh no, he dropped it. Damn it. That's okay. I think it's 4th and 5.
But
Jared
yeah, let me
Goff
know if
almost
there
threw a
was
pick.
anything like where he could have got, thrown it downfield.
Yeah. Bear down. Yeah, man. I live in bear country out here, and they're
Yeah, this is
awful
not your
excited.
normal background here in the kitchen.
Yeah, because the TV's here, so I can watch the game.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, I live in the suburbs of Chicago, and those Bears fans were all full excited coming into week 1, and then the halftime hits, and they're all gloom and doom, and same old Bears, and then they get their defensive touchdowns like the Bears always seem to do. Actually made some money on that, by the way. Put $10 on Bears defensive score today, just knowing that they're playing Will Levis, and of course I hit on that, but that's all right, man. It's gonna. I think their offense is in for an awakening. Well, should we call it a night?
Yeah, it's up to you, man. It's your show.
Yep, let's call it. So thank you guys for tuning in. Good discussion in the comment section. Make sure you follow us and subscribe to us. We'll be doing this live Sunday nights, 8:30 p.m. to break down the Vikings, win or lose. And it was fun week 1. We got our win. We dominated today. Great week 1. Now we get to wear our purple to work on Monday. Everybody have a great week. I will catch you guys next week for more House Calls with Skol Doc, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's fucking go.